Welcome, everyone, to the main event 135. We have Michael Uffer with us today. Michael has got a new program to show us. He's one behind Pictgen and has been on multiple times with us, not only introducing Pictgen, but also some of the improvements as they went along. So, welcome, Michael, to be back with us. As you know, you're welcome here anytime.
Thank
So,
you, Al. I really appreciate the attention and your help. Thanks.
I like what you're doing. I think that it's important for people to, take a look at stuff. Well, as usual, I start off with news, and I've posted a lot of stuff this week. I'm just going to go through what I've posted in the comment section of this today's event, which I do because people to see the things that are happening. First of all, welcome, Eric. Uh,
Hello.
I have put a link, PrestoArt.ai, on the comment section. And I just a forewarning to people, make sure you're putting in PrestoArt AI, because if you go to PrestoArt.com, it's a different site. Uh, when 2.2 animation and lip sync got a new demo that is on the comment section. There's a link to Runway to, if you haven't been there for a while, to see the improvements on what they're doing. There was an announcement I think it was just yesterday, of VO 3.1 by Google's DeepMind, and talking about new capabilities there, and bragging about all the people that have tried out the first version of it. There's also an interesting post that I put on there that is a comparison of VO, Sora, Kling, Halu, and Seed Dance, and the results of the animations for those. I also like to post interesting workflow links. I've got three of them this week. Brian Sykes did an interesting one. As usual, June Chow's are fantastic. And Alexandra Serban also had an interesting workflow. So I've posted those. And finally, there is an invite by Guido Fue to attend the opening of his virtual gallery on spatial, and that starts immediately after the main event today. I got a preview of it, and definitely worth going to see. I have a virtual gallery on spatial as well. Mine was done, probably 3 years ago, and his design is far superior to the setup that I have. But it's well worth going to see, and he will be there in his virtual avatar. Probably be able to talk to him and walk around and see the various art that he has posted on virtual gallery. So that's everything that I've got in the comments section. And so, Michael, again, welcome to you, and I'm glad that tell us about your new PrestoArt AI. So take it away.
Thank you. I'm going to share my screen now. Good morning, everybody. So this is PrestoArt AI. We are going to I'm going to show you a demo and also point out the features of the software that I think might be of interest. So why did we do this? Well, we wanted to replace stock photos. I mean, that's a big goal, but we think that's a possibility because stock photos are in big trouble. I worked in the stock photo industry for 5 years in the 90s. My partner, Chris Ferrone, is also involved in that industry. And there's been a lot of mergers and acquisitions and combinations and so on. Why? They're cliched. I mean, let's face it. Look at you can say, boy, that's a stock photo. I've seen that one before. It's not customizable, and the same image is often used by competitors in the same, especially for this low-end royalty-free stuff. So who is our target audience? Well, it's people needing to create assets for advertising. A lot of folks can't afford a full-blown graphic designer, or they're not interested in letting the work out. They also have in-house design resources, And many of them have to post to social media like every day, maybe multiple times a day, maybe multiple images per post. And they're like, well, let's try AI. But then they get into Midjourney and all the other tools, and they go, oh my God, that's so complicated. How do I do that? What do I do? What do I say? How do I fashion my prompt to get the simple image that I'm looking for? So we try to address these issues in our software. And the primary use case is social media posts, spot ads, corporate communications, announcements, and so on. So the interface, let's go over the interface. The interface is very simple. Thank you, Renee. It's uncluttered. It's just straight up to the prompt. And then you can control how it looks using our look and feel tools, which I'll show you in a minute. You can generate 4 images at a time or multiple. You can have a lot of control over how the images are generated, and you can create a video out of your image. And you
Michael,
can, yes, I'm sorry, Al.
no problem. Michael, I just wanted to have you explain that you're calling different styles looks as opposed to other people that
Ah,
are
right.
calling it
Thank you.
styles.
Yeah, so that's a good point. Thanks. The word style is very overloaded. I mean, um, there's so many meanings to that word, from the kind of graphic art style, graphic design style, to the style of the image generated, the subject of the image generated. So Chris and I felt that that was not a good term to use inside this software. So we called it look and feel, which is kind of similar but slightly different, and it's distinct. Also, the image type. So instead of calling that the image style, which you see on the left, we decided to call it the image type. So if you're making an icon, an illustration, an emoji, etc., you're not really talking about the style. So instead of lumping them all together, we sort of separated them out and gave them different names, related names. Sorry. So the video that we do. Okay, so let me describe this sort of slightly technical background. This is all based on Flux and WAN 2.5. WAN 2.5 is the video model. It's an open source video model. So we're not paying royalties. It's much less expensive to run for both the user and for us than any of the big ones like Sora or VO, etc. So we chose to use that, and we incorporate the API into our software, and it's self-hosted. So in other words, we don't go out on API calls to these big guys and pay lots of money and so. So it's all about the look and feel. Very simple. How did we get this set of images? We said the prompt is a team meeting. Well, that's kind of simple. It doesn't really tell you much about how the people look, how the people are dressed, what the environment is, etc. But we cover that. How do we cover it? And I think we give the user quite a bit of choice. So the first way to do that is we take the prompt and we feed it to an AI. And the AI goes and matches the prompt to our look and feel our set of look and feels. So we have about 150 look and feels in our catalog. And it then picks the ones or suggests the ones that might work. So in this case, might be business casual, open office, etc. It's not perfect, but it also gives you a confidence rating. So the 90% is for business casual and open office. The other ones are a little lower. Sometimes, it's lower down, it misses, but it's generally pretty accurate. So what we do is we have both a text description of the look and feel and images that uh, that represent the look and feel. So let's see what that is. So we can show all our looks if we're um, if we want to do that. And these are all our looks. Just quickly, you go through them. Very simple to select the look. Just click on it. And these looks are all trained. We train them against image galleries that we find in open source software, open source images, etc. So you can see the variety. I think it pleases a lot of people. It also has a lot around pop culture, psychedelic, punk, funk, sci-fi, romance novels, on and on and on. So this was a set of requirements that a lot of people uh, asked us about, so we put them in. And it's very easy to do that. You can also create your own look, which we call custom. And these are some of the ones that I created in my space. I'll show you how you do that in a few minutes. So you can pick any of those. All right, so let's see how you would do that, how you would train. So you say create a look, and you say, and this was one we did before. You say, okay, choose some files. You can choose up to 20 files. You give it a name, and you say start training. In about 20 minutes, depending upon how many images you have, you get the look. That look is in your custom tab. It appears in your custom tab, and then you can use it to generate images.
Let me interrupt you once more, Michael.
Sure.
For any of you who have been accustomed to working with programs that have Flux, anyways, Michael, what I was saying is anybody who has worked with a program that uses Flux, such as Permento, it's the same kind of training program. So the thing is, you could easily do that without any learning curve to create your own look on here.
Right. So at this point in the evolution of AI, it's pretty much it's either Midjourney or Flux. I mean, those are the two ones. Stability is kind of faded from the. Then there, of course, there's also Google or DeepMind, Nano Banana, and there's Imagen, I believe. But those are the basic. Flux is open source and trainable. So that's, as Al pointed out, they all use the same training algorithm. All the programs that use Flux use the same. Any other questions or comments?
Yeah. Thank you for a lot of for explanation. Something that I was wondering is, do these outputs come out as a vector files too, or maybe because if they do, that's the amazing for web designers, especially since it would give them a way more control over editing. Yeah.
So no, they are bitmaps at this point, but you can convert them with software to vector. So so the way to do that would be to take the bitmap, upscale it.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, we don't upscale directly, but a lot of software does now. Put it into an upscaler and then say convert to vector. It's a different problem to create vector art. So we didn't feel that we could tackle that in our first release.
Gotcha. Okay. And as you know about the style in Midjourney, we are always use the href codes to custom the styles. Could we use something like that in the href codes in this platform already?
Oh, the SREF code. Yeah, and it's implicit. So actually, you don't have to do all that kind of SREF stuff explicitly, but you do get it. So here, business casual and open office are roughly equivalent to the SREF codes. Those are the styles that we're going to use to generate this image. Does it make sense? So if it was Midjourney, you would find an image of business casual, and you would give it that image as the SREF, and then
Mhm.
say, well, that's if you're using,
Uh,
I believe you can use both images and the numbers, right? Al,
uh,
correct me if I'm wrong, or this fella. Um,
so
so in our case, we are using these as SREFs, essentially. Same idea. Very
okay,
simple.
that's great. Thank you.
We don't
Thank you.
have built-in codes like Midjourney in terms of, all the random
Uh-huh.
number stuff, but it's a different problem, I think. So it's up to us.
Okay. And I was thinking about the how can we control about the editing image? For example, in this meeting that we are, can
Right.
we, for example, change the one of the characters or maybe the change the
Sure.
camera?
Right. So you could do all of those, and it preserves the character identity. So I'll just show a simple one. Make the background red.
Okay.
There you go. So that
Oh,
uses
nice.
uses flux context. And then I can say add title, whoops, on top that says welcome in black type. There you go.
Okay. Nice.
And we also we add a little bit of special sauce here. So we let you look at your previous generations.
Okay.
So you can
And
go back, correct.
I was wondering about the output that we have, the size of the export image. Could you check?
Yeah.
I don't
It's
know.
it's 1024 by 1024, or if it's um, landscape or portrait, it's the
Okay.
proportion numbers for that.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other? Thank you for those questions. Very good clarification.
You're welcome.
Okay, so let me sort of go through it. Okay, so some of the things when you train, you can do some really interesting things. You can either train it on a set of images that relate to a particular style, which are most of the ones that I showed you in the gallery, or you can train it on a person. So, okay. So I'm going to show you on a person. Okay, so these were trained on an actress whose name is Carolina. And I trained a look and feel on Carolina. I'll show you how that look and feel came out. And then I'll show you this image, which is generated using that look of Carolina, and then it's animated using our built-in WAN animations. So here's Carolina, and I asked it to show her smiling. And here's Carolina, and I asked her to, no, one was smiling. I forget what the other one was. I'm sorry. But there were two different animations. Oh, she's laughing. Okay, so there we go. So you can see how that that may have worked. Another one I did was these are Mayan images. So I took a sample of Mayan images from open source photos, and I trained a Mayan look, and then I animated. And since the jaguar is an important icon in the Mayan iconography, I chose jaguar. So here they are. Here it is. And hopefully you can hear that sound. So that comes with the free sound effects. Here's another one. I got a little carried away. And here's another one. Okay, so those are the basic training and then animation with sound effects. Okay, so here we go. The other big thing we have that I think is unique and very, very powerful is that we have this idea that you can take a letter or a group of letters and use them to generate an image. So in this case, this is a different hip, and we call it initial cap, and you can put in up to 3 characters, and it will then generate an image using those 3 characters in the style of that you specify. So in our case, this is a little out of sync. It was Aztec. So this was used. Okay, so this is initial caps, hip in Aztec. And then again, you can take that and animate it. So here's the Aztec god, and he's emerging from the letters. And we get this little animation. And you can, when you animate it, you can also reanimate it. And you can say, you can give it instructions for the animation. You can tell the resolution, which is up to 1080p, which is pretty high, I think. And then you can decide how you want it, short, 5-second or 10-second. And you can also upload a WAV or an MP3 file up to I think it's 30 seconds, and it will merge that with the video.
At this point, Michael, do you have the ability to extend it beyond the 10 seconds?
No, not yet.
Okay. Of course, the thing that anybody wants to, do something more than that,
Of course.
you can use the last frame as your reference and go on from there.
Right. So this is simple low-end video, not low-end in terms of quality, but low-end in terms of all these features. And it's very inexpensive. So, a lot of people have been breaking their bank with Sora and Vio. I read all these complaints on LinkedIn and other forums, and this doesn't break your bank. It's just the number of credits that you have in our software, and it's reasonable, I hope. Okay. And here's, one of our look and feel in this case. Okay, so now we have this other idea, which is that you can control the color set of an image, and you can control the image type. So we have icon, which gives you more or less a single image that's kind of iconic, and you can find what type of icon you want. We give you, I don't know, it's about 10 different types, and they all correspond to standard styles of icons. Or you can do an illustration, which is more open. And again, these are kind of standardized illustration styles. You can do an emoji, and you can do initial cap, which is what I've been showing. So this is the icon. It's a flat icon. And I can now specify what colors I want this icon to appear in. And I have, basically, I'm building a little palette, which is made up of this primary color. That's the color of the object, a background color, and an outline color. And you can see it on the second submarine. You see this blue background, the yellow submarine, and a green outline of the submarine.
This is ideal for if you have branding colors you have to use.
Right, and thank you. And then you can you pick them from, this is the set of Pantone colors, and it matches them pretty closely. So you have all sorts of ones, some that are geared to interiors, or these are by color name and group. So on. This is a lot of fun to play with. So that's how we did those. Oh, and this is another kind of, I think the other gentleman asked me about editing the image. So these are all the things I've been playing with. You can quickly see some of the variety that this produces. I'm trying to, let me see if I can find this one. No, I can't. Okay, this one, by the way, did a Scrabble tiles, which is very interesting. They got the points wrong though. So I don't know. I think a Y is 7. Anybody here play Scrabble? Not Scrabble. Yeah, Scrabble. This is Scrabble, right? Yeah, yeah. 7 is the Y, but it's different in different situations. At least they think so. All right. I can't find it. I'm sorry. So I'll skip that. Oh yeah, this graffiti. Let's do this graffiti. So I can make this graffiti and add I'll put ready for the subway. It puts it at the top so you can find it more easily. There it is. So it put ready for the subway, but that's fine. All right, and then I'll show you a couple more images that are generated. So I found it very useful for fashion and product. Oops, come up right in Photoshop. So that's a Grateful Dead sneaker. Here's a mushroom shoe. And here's a mushroom boot. It does a very nice job of laying the style on the image of the object. And let me just show you our Instagram page. Okay, this is our Instagram page. So these are animations and stills that I put up recently based upon my Instagram feed. Al got the image for the invitation from here. And these are all based on custom styles. I'll just go down a couple of them. This one is based upon claymation. I think it's very cute. It comes out really nice. Some dolphins, some zebras. Here's a rodeo cowboy riding his bull. Here's some bats flying around. These are good for Halloween. Some camels crossing the desert. There's a monkey doing his thing. It's a chimp, actually. The chickens. And the eggs are hatching. Spider. Here's a rabbit who's jumping off his R. tiger who's transforming into an okay, a bear. I'll do these quickly. There's the solar system. I don't know. There's a lot of planets that they haven't discovered yet, but these guys know them. It's good to know. Bursting ink. Here's a very simple one of hats that were trained. I'm sorry, images that were trained on a set of hats that I found. Kid is playing with his robots. A woman is with her tote bag, her model running on the runway. The father and his little kid. These are fish on a sort of poster of fish, identified poster, but it comes alive and the fish move. Some sauce on the cupcakes. The cats are sharing their good happiness with the world. Couple is having dinner. These are sardines that just seem to be jumping out of the can. They can't stay in there, at least for the 10 seconds. And that's pretty much it. So thank you. I think that's pretty much what I have to show. Questions, please.
We were talking a while back, Michael, when we were talking about you coming on here. You are planning on making some looks with photorealistic styles.
So you're right. Thank you. Yeah. So we decided on the first pass and on the R&D to use illustrations because it was a lot less loaded, if you will, than photographs. Photographs have so many different aspects and parameters that we felt it was going to be difficult to figure out what we wanted to do based on that. So we concentrated on illustrations, icons, and illustrations, and we're going to put in photographs in the next release coming soon. Stay tuned.
More questions?
Thank you. Just mute.
Yeah,
Thanking.
go ahead, please.
Thank you. That was quite amazing for lots of information from you. And yeah, I recently checked your website and I will try your AI and I will share my comments. Okay.
And if yeah, I'd like to invite people to apply for an ambassador, if you will, with our software. So and what that involves is posting images with our URL and any compliments, etc., that you can do. And you'll get 150 free generations. So send me through LinkedIn a link to your work, and I'll make a decision and then let you know, and we'll start doing that as soon as we get some input on that.
Okay. Thank you.
Mike, even though you had shown me stuff, the thing that more impressed with what you were showing today, actually covering more, I think that the ability to go in and make modifications to the pictures, the clear use of type and not going through all the nonsense words that you get with Midjourney still. I think some of the looks you have may be illustrative, but they are realistic looking styles, such as the bull rider or the boot, a realism look about it that I thought was good. Eric?
Mhm.
Hey, thanks, Michael. Appreciate it. Very interesting platform you have here. My question is on this type, are the backgrounds transparent so you can create like a word made out of this illustration and put it over an image?
Hmm. No, not as of yet, but we could do that. I mean, it's not that hard to do. We should do that. I'll make it so that you can do that. You can bring it into, of course, you can bring it into Photoshop or any other program pretty much these days. And
If you have the ability to save it as a PNG file without a
it is
background.
a PNG. So it is a PNG, and I think we should definitely add that to. We know how to do it. We just haven't gotten to it.
Okay. Mark?
Hi, Michael. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank
I
you.
really like your product. Couple questions. One is I was wondering if when making custom styles, what sources do you recommend to try to find images for the training? I don't know if it's something like Unsplash or Wikimedia. And
Right.
my other question
Okay.
is related to if you can review your pricing plan options. I haven't looked at your webpage yet, but
Oh,
was
sure. Sure. The
yeah.
pricing, yeah. There's the pricing plan. Okay. So there are three basic plans. There's a starter, medium, and large. Um, these are tokens. Each image generated is one token. So when you do a query, a prompt, etc., you get four images. So that would use up four tokens. And the video is a little more expensive, but not too bad. I think it's 10 tokens for a video. Uh, and then medium and large. And they're automatically renewed every month, and you can cancel, tired or broke or both.
Okay.
And then the first question said, remind me what that was.
What types of sources would you recommend for finding
Oh, yeah,
images?
right. So I recommend two primary sources. One is the Internet Archive has an enormous collection of digitized art, and also it has a lot of books. So, for instance, this one here, uh, the Audubon one. So I went into the Audubon book by, I think it's Audubon, right? If I remember correctly. Um, who was an illustrator, and 19th century illustrator of birds and animals. And I used that, and I basically went through the book, and then I screen grabbed the images in the book. Uh, I got about 20 images, and then I ran them quickly through Photoshop, which I have, but you don't need to do this, to clean them up a little bit because some of them were a little faded looking and had some grayish uh, backgrounds. So I put a little filter on, clean them up. But that's fine. But you don't need to do that. And and I did that I did that one for, oh yeah, Al recommended this book to me a while ago. It's Grey's Anatomy, not the TV show, but the book. And Grey's Anatomy was a original. When is it? 19th century, Al? I don't know when it came
Yeah,
out.
yeah, it is, and it's all anatomical drawings that were actually based on.
Okay, so you see what's going on here is that when you upload the images, you are the software captions the images for you, How does it caption them? It uses ChatGPT under the covers. There's no great secret to that. And it gives them a caption. And you can actually edit the captions if you like. But I've found pretty much the captions are good. And what that does is it makes it so that when you search, it picks up things that are matching in text to what you search um, as well. So if I would, in this case, like on the last one, these are ripe purple grapes hanging from a vine. So if I said I want, purple grapes in my prompt, it's going to make sure to incorporate these images as part of the style. It'll know that those purple grapes are the kind of vine that I'm interested in. So one of the things to test and to make sure it's doing what you expect it to or what you want it to do is to look at the captions that it generated and then make sure that those captions correspond to the kind of things you think you or your users might be interested in getting, the styles from those. Make sense?
Yeah, thank you very much for the explanation. And is it possible to share styles or publish them, so to speak? So, for example, I make a particular one that I want to share either with a teammate or perhaps share with others on LinkedIn, or are they just unique to
Well,
just usable by individual account?
we don't have a facility for multiple users like that, but
Uh,
they are on Hugging Face. So I don't know how to find them exactly at the moment. My technical guy.
Before we go to Glenn, who's been very patiently waiting here, one question I have is the various looks that you have developed yourself, are they included in the samples of looks and that long list that you have of stuff?
No, those are private to me.
Okay.
So if you do that, um, they would be private to you and your
Okay.
uh,
Glenn?
anybody using your account.
Hey, Big
So
Al. Yeah, a lot of the questions were answered along the way, which is helpful. The main question I had, and thanks for this, Michael, it's very helpful and looks like an interesting program. I'd love to try it out, and I'm sure everyone else is on this call. I was just curious about the copyright issue. I wasn't sure, like so many programs, especially like the Midjourneys, and I know there's been cases that are for and against and how much you change it in post and all that. But
right.
like you're uploading stuff off the web, I guess.
Well, that's why I qualify that
Yeah.
because it's not clear, but that's up to the user. That's why the ones we
Yeah.
train are more or less vetted. But for the user, if you're just making your own art, I mean, it's much more benign. It depends on what
Sure.
you're doing with that art and so on and so forth. Um, yeah. So I mean, here's what I think, and this is not. I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not a IP person per se. If you use art, okay, so Flux, Midjourney, everybody and his brother are scanning the whole internet, right? They're getting everything all over the place from the internet, and they actually dig down into further archives, and they're all getting sued, but so far nobody's won or lost. If you're doing stuff like that and making a look or a Laura from those images, it's it's a little dicey, but it's probably okay because you're doing the same thing as these other guys. Now, if you go to Disney website and you start doing that with them, and you start putting Mickey Mouse on your site, you're going to get in trouble because Disney is, very vigilant about their copyright. So that's kind of the way I see it now. I don't know what's going to happen, but that's the best I can say.
There's also, when you do a Google search, you're going to come up with various pictures that are from stock images, and 9 times out of 10, they're going to have their watermarks on them. So you just
Right.
you don't use those. That's all, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good way to do it, a good rule of thumb.
Michael, if you could stop sharing your screen now, we can go to everybody up on the front because we're getting close to the end of the session.
Okay.
Okay, excellent. Yeah,
Thank you, everybody, for your questions. They're very helpful. I think that's an interesting idea before I finish, is to if there's a significant interest in exporting these LoRa's, it's not that hard to do. You have to figure out how you're going to use that LoRa, because it's a file. If you're going to just put it out there, maybe we have to put an import also so that people can import LoRa's from other sources. If you go to Hugging Space or the other guy, I forget his name now, they have all sorts of LoRa's that you can download and use. I'm
I
sorry.
mean, I would think that, new customers to your program, would really love that, obviously. That instead of it being a blank page and you're starting from scratch, the way Midjourney more recently, is now sharing their SREFs. I think people are going crazy using that stuff, and it's only that number is just going to grow exponentially. I would think the number of SREFs they add. I wonder if it would inspire people. Like the ones you showed were inspiring alone, but I think you happened to mention a few minutes ago that those would not be available because those are yours. I guess, and I don't know how you would add those to the program, but I would highly suggest you start with that so people can get inspired, especially people who are not art people. You know what I mean? I think the folks on this call are seasoned pros here, so to speak, in AI. But I know so many people who reach out to me going, I want to start, but I'm not an art person. I'm an accountant. Where do I even begin? I don't think they would have any clue what to do with a blank page. But if you gave them 100 reference head start, they'll go, I got it. Okay, that's cool.
Okay,
That's like,
so
you know what I mean?
can I just quickly share, just to answer
Yeah,
Glenn's
sure.
question? Hold on. Where's the? Oh, yeah. All right, I'm going to share. So we start you off here. When you first come in, we have this thing called Show Ideas, and it shows you all the things not all of them, but some of the things you might be doing. And then when you click on one, actually buy that. I don't know exactly how it works. I'm sorry. But basically the idea is to give you a head start. And then you hit one and it goes in, and then you regenerate that one from the ones we give you.
Michael, are we able to look at what the images were that trained your various looks, or no?
No.
Okay, well, that makes sense. Well, I
That's
think,
my secret sauce. You don't know what's in the Big Mac sauce when you buy
yeah,
the Big.
no. I think that the impressive thing is the variety of looks that you have there already, and like you said, you're going to be adding more as you go. As a starting point here with this program, I think you've really got an impressive program for somebody to come in and work with. And like Glenn was saying, for people who have not been doing, extensive prompting like the group of us have, I think that, they would find this extremely helpful. So,
Right. I want to take the prompting expert out of the equation, because I mean they're good for what they do, but it's not for everybody. So I feel that this style can easily overcome the
hesitancy.
abrupt learning curve.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, thank you, everybody. I'll stop.
Okay, just before we conclude, and again, Michael, excellent presentation, and really got a really good sense of what you're offering there. So thank you again for coming
Right.
today.
And please, anybody who has any questions, please reach out to me, and also reach out if you're interested in becoming an ambassador for.
Thank you. June, once more, I have put one of your excellent workflows in the comment section. I love what you do and how you're explaining everything. Beautiful, beautiful work. Okay, everybody. Thank you for being here. I'm going to end the recording, and as soon as I get the whole thing edited, then I will be posting that on my YouTube channel and make it known where it's available. So again, many thanks.